Roof view here, I'm not sure with which Seat, but here we go. They get the green and they're racing, and Nicola Larini was perilously close to being just in front at the line, but it's Genet that leads. Larini in second. Menu tucks to the inside, he'll get third. Will he? Yes, in front of Ricard Rydell. Tom Coronel down to fifth, and that's Jörg Muller sideways. Alex Zanardi is off as well. Zanardi comes right back on at the back. Where's Jörg Muller? Has he spun turn to rejoin? I think he has. Contact further back. Rob Huff inside car number 12, the Chevrolet of Yvan Muller, championship leader. Our independent pole sitter Pierre-Yves Courtals was also sideways, and that is a big break immediately for Genet, but see the wheels locking. Chevrolet second and third, and that is Menu behind Larini, I think, almost certain, and there's cars everywhere, and this is going to be a feature of the race. Eduardo Freitas will do everything he can to avoid scrambling the safety car, but it is mayhem in there. Farfus comes back on from the outfield. It is extremely slippery, and the more cars that go off, the more slippery it'll be next lap. Rob Huff still behind Tarquini and Muller with 44 extra kilos of ballast. Look how much those two cars are being left behind. Farfus behind Huff. Behind him is Pierre-Yves Courtals, and the rest of the field desperately trying to make ground, led by Andy Prio. And at the moment, the two diesel Seats are pulling away from Huff, who's got left rear tyre smoke. That's damage from a hit he's had, possibly from Farfus, quite possibly from half a dozen other cars. Race leader on the first lap is Jordi Genet, and Genet, I don't think he's going to be able to escape, and I think that was a mistake by Tarquini. Yvan Muller was going inside him a little further back. Across the line they're going to come. Genet is going to lead comfortably from Larini and Menu. And Rydell has got by both the Seats, both the Chevrolets. He's ahead of Larini, and Coronel has got by Menu as well. So while we're watching the action in the midfield, it has been turned around at the front. Oh my goodness me. And that, I think, is Yvan Muller going through eventually against Gabriele Tarquini. And look at the muck that's been thrown up by the tyres. Or is this Tarquini's car, and is that Muller? Well, there's Genet. Second place is Rydell. Third is Larini. Fourth is Coronel. Fifth is Menu. Sixth place was Yvan Muller. Seventh is Tarquini. Eighth is Huff, and he's in trouble defending hard against Farfus. Still defending against Farfus. Augusto's got a run on the inside, and Montero has got ahead of Pierre-Yves Courtals. Andy Prio is 13th at the moment, or was at the end of the lap, behind Felix Porchero, and still is. There's Prio right in the shot there, ahead of the two Pro Team BMWs. And Prio is going to have to really hope for a race of attrition out front, but not as much as Jörg Muller, who is last but one. Jörg Muller right to the back of the field after being spun round in the first couple of corners. There he is. That's Jörg, car number 2. He's right behind one of the two Engstler BMWs. Not for long. Dives through. Now Farfus trying to lead the chase of Muller and Tarquini. He's got by Huff for 8th place. So that's pole for race 2 and a point. He is the man with the Andy Prio drive this weekend, but he's got damage on the right front, and Huff had damage on the left rear. Easy to put 2 and 2 together, but they may not be the two ones that made that 2. Genet leads by 2.5 from Rydell, then Larini, Coronel and Menu, and then Muller, Yvan Muller and Gabriele Tarquini really struggling. They are really struggling at the moment. Last lap for Genet, 141.7. Last lap for Yvan Muller, 149.8. 7.1 seconds slower on that lap. That cannot surely be right. I'll have to wait for the timing screen computer to update itself, but that's a phenomenal amount of time to be losing, and everybody is losing time to Jordi Genet. At the moment, Rydell losing time as he's ahead of Larini, because he's ahead of Larini, and Larini's trying to attack. Coronel's trying to attack him. Menu can't quite get to grips with Coronel, and they're all in the 42s. No, Yvan Muller's last lap, 143.1 compared to the 141.7 of Genet, so still 1.5 seconds slower. That's what 44 kilos of ballast is doing to him, because he's not racing anyone at the moment. Just like Genet, he's got a bit of clear air. On board with Alain Menu, and he is losing ground to Tom Coronel. His last lap, 142.6 rather. Coronel's was 1:42.8, but this lap he's really starting to struggle out of turn 16. And that is the wall that claimed Peter Turting 2005, was it? Yes, I think so. In the first race weekend here, he won one race and got walled in the other. Not by anybody particularly, but just by losing grip on the track. I seem to remember that Dirk Muller did as well. So Van Muller, championship leader, in 7th place at the moment. And that's because Gabriele Tarquini got by him again. Those two have had a good seesaw battle, and that you can see the way the track folds in on itself. As we look further back at Rydell, or further forward rather, at Rydell and Menu, the tail enders are going through the last few corners. Well, now we're looking at a replay of the start. I said Larini had to be careful. There's only ever one reason in World Touring Cars for looking at a replay of the start, and that is to presage a penalty, because Larini must not have been even a millimetre ahead of an overlap, a parallel overlap with the pole man Jordi Genet at that stage. Nicola Larini in 3rd place, Alain Menu in 5th place, Rob Huff in 8th place at the moment. No, 9th place. He's been eased down by Augusto Farfus. Now looking back, this is the move where Van Muller was got right up with Gabriele Tarquini. That's turn 16, I believe. Haven't seen that view of it before. Looks really slow, doesn't it? It looks like they're coming up to a safety car or something. That's just because it's a big, wide NASCAR-style speedway. That's why. It's a 1.5 mile oval, and it looks like it. Genet, 3 seconds now clear of Rydell. Rydell's sort of worrying a little about Larini. Coronel not close enough to worry Nicola. Rob Huff under pressure though from behind. Huffy's defending. He's going to have to go online soon to make the turn. And that was Thiago Monteiro coming alongside him, or trying to, as we watch Ivan Muller chasing Gabriele Tarquini. Can't see in the background whether Huff got pushed back another spot or not. That's Tarquini, we're with Muller. Well, the speedway makes them look like they're going slowly, and the turbo diesel engine, which doesn't need to rev as freely as the normally aspirated engines, and also of course has that silencing effect of the turbo, really sounds like it's not working hard either, but it's still producing plenty of power, just in a different way to its petrol engines, normally aspirated rivals in the field. Of course, there are no petrol turbos in this category, normally aspirated 2-litre engine, petrol or turbo diesel engine. Now then, that's Andy Priaulx ducking out behind Pierre-Yves Courtals to have a little look. Still behind the top Independence Trophy driver in Courtals. Daren't really let Priaulx go, because right behind Andy are the 2 Pro Team BMWs, and although they're not threatening Priaulx, they're being very, very canny and staying with him. And there is Courtals. Priaulx's got through, and that's exactly why. He didn't want to let Andy through, didn't want to leave the door open, because Stefano Dasti and his teammate Sergio Hernandez in those 2 white and multicoloured blue machines are were right with Priaulx, and Courtals knew the moment Priaulx opened him up, then the other 2 would try to go with him. And they're working together, as you sometimes see at places like Monza in qualifying, the 2 Pro Team BMWs and Jürgen Muller behind them, trying to work together to get by the Seat of Pierre-Yves Courtals. So Priaulx now up to 11th, but still 3 places from even a point, and of course that vital pole position for race 2. Now I'm still waiting to hear whether or not Nicola Larini is going to be handed a penalty for being ahead at the start. We saw the replay, and we normally only see that if there is a question above it, and so far no notification of that. So it may be that it was adjudged that Larini was not actually ahead as they crossed the line. Of course, it's a little bit of a broad checkered stripe there, so quite where the line is, not entirely sure, and we didn't exactly get a parallel camera shot, did we? Didn't get the photo finish shot. Again, riding with Gabriele Tarquini, 6th position. Oh, and they're going by Menu struggled. Oh, and he's going to be turned round. Surely Ivan Muller's inside him. Menu desperately trying to hold on to a position, and somehow Ivan Muller manages not to spin him out. Muller's offline now, and through goes Farfus. Opportunistic driving indeed by Augusto Farfus. Genet still leads, Rydell second, Larini in third, Tom Coronel in fourth. That's the 4 cars you can see now. 5th place now, Ivan Muller. 6th is Menu. 7th, Augusto Farfus. He's gone up from 8th to 7th, and Ivan Muller is on the bubble. 8th place is where the reverse grid ends. Thiago Montero could take that away from him. Ivan Muller's got 44 kilos of weight. Does not seem to be handling them quite as well as Gabriele Tarquini is. Well, this is a real battle of wits now. All the cars slipping and sliding, scrabbling, very, very different handling between the front-wheel drive cars and the rear-wheel drive cars. And any mistake here is really severely punished, not necessarily by the concrete walls, but by the cars sliding around and you not being able to get on the power, especially in a rear-wheel drive car. And the fastest man on the track at the moment is Thiago Montero in 9th, closing on his teammate Ivan Muller in 8th. I told you he would want to take that place away, and I think he will before the end of the race. At the SEAT camp at the moment, it's every man for himself. If you find yourself in the ascendancy now, take the darn points. Look at that, Muller's drive off that medium speed corner, or low gear corner, just pushing him right back in front of Farfus. He's 7th, Farfus is 8th, and Courtaul's coming back against Prio. Ami Puig trying to